Thanks for watching, everybody. If you are enjoying the motorcycle build thus far, please think about subscribing to the channel. The build is only going to get more interesting from here, and your subscription helps the channel get more recognition from YouTube, which ultimately helps me bring you guys more interesting videos. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Today on the Goldwing build, I'm gonna remove a bunch of stuff off the back of the bike. The panniers or saddlebags or whatever you may call them, the rear racks, the brake light, and part of the rear fender. And along with all of these things is a bit of wiring. Here we go.
All right, so I'm now gonna take off these bags from the back of the bike. So the top bag here very neatly comes off with just a set of keys, it looks like. I think it's supposed to be like a suitcase kind of deal. And it looks like this guy on the side comes off with about 4 bolts, 2 on the side and 2 on the bottom. Plus it looks like there's a bit of wiring in there as well. Turn signals and some side markers. These guys are all 10 millimeter. Alright, so there's a bunch of wiring that goes to these panniers, these bags in the back, because they've got taillights and turn signals in them. And so it looks like this was a neat little kit at one time that it came where you unplugged the stock wires right about here and then plugged in your new wires for the bags right here. And so they came all pre-wired by the looks of it. They've got neat little color-coded wires and everything. I just went ahead and labeled all the connections here before I take them off. So I got my left turn, my running lights, and my right turn signal. Just gonna unplug these guys, and I should be able to take these bags off then. Alright, so while playing with these wires back here, trying to remove everything for the panniers, I found that these wires are sort of stuck. They go across and everything, and so in order to get them out, slide these out, I need to drop this little fender down. So I'm looking at, I'm going to try removing this bolt over here, this bolt over there, and then that guy down there, and then this fender should drop and allow me to pull those wires through. Alright, now I should be able to move these through here. I've got some accessory wiring the previous owner put in here that basically fed a little light on the dash. I told him these lights were on back here. So there are a couple spots in this wiring loom back here where the previous owner or some previous owner had, whenever they put this kit on, they had soldered in some of the connections in there. So like right here, they soldered in the wires there, and then also down here, they soldered in a wire connection there as well, and that works. This is certainly the cheapest way to possibly do it. We're just gonna snip those wires off that go to the bags, and then the other wires that were on there originally should still work the way they're supposed to, as long as I cover them back up with electrical tape. All right, that should be it. A whole lot of wires off to one pannier there, and the rest of these wires off to the other pannier, which can now be removed. And then we've got that frame down there. This frame guy, this nice chrome frame. Are we gonna take that off today? Probably. Well, look at this guy with just the rack on there. It actually looks kind of cool. Looks all off-roady, adventure bike ready. Alright, so who would like to take off this rack here? I think I would. Looks like there's a bolt down here by the rear peg there. There's a bolt there on the shock tower. And there was a bolt here holding up the fender connection and everything. And you can kind of see that this is already loose now that bolt's come out. And that's it. That's all that holds this thing on here. So, first thing I'm going to do though is take off this antenna. So that involves clipping a bunch of these little zip ties to get the wire sorted out. And then there's a nut on the bottom there. And it all should slide out. Alright, so this nut on the bottom is a 17 millimeter. Ah, well, there's more than one way of doing it. So I just unscrewed the top part instead. I just have to go ahead and disconnect these zip ties and get that cable out of there. I'm gonna go ahead and take this top rack off first. So there was a bolt here holding it on, and then there's this bolt here holding on. So we'll just take this bolt off the top of the shock mount off, 14 millimeter. And this comes off. All right, let's try the other side as well. All right, that's off as well. The other side has, let me show you. The other side is open here, so I can just pull this off easier on this side, and then the other side should just pop off. Yep, it should just pop right off. Pop right off. All right, so that's off. Now we've already got the mount off there, and the mount off here for this next guy. So I just need to do the mount here down on the foot peg. This guy down here, there's a bolt right there, which is also a 14 millimeter. Do the other side, and we should hopefully get this whole thing off in one big piece. All right, I'm just gonna pull it off the shock mount here, and bam, there it is. So after messing with this further, I found out that there's a connection point that was hidden right below this support there. So this guy makes things a lot easier if you can just disconnect it right here. Aha, there we go. So then that includes the brake light and everything from this point backward. Now you can start to see the rear wheel. Look at that. Look at that beautiful rear wheel.